About 3 years ago, I took a rundown garage and turned it into the perfect space solely dedicated to my love for cycling. And I called it the Dutchman's Den. I didn't know it at the time, but that garage would go on to become the origin of this channel. And in 2023, I had to say goodbye to it. But that was okay, because we were moving to a better place. A place where the beer flows like wine and bike parts literally grow in the backyard. I'm talking about a little place called the County, where there's more room to build a bigger and better Dutchman's Den. One where we can fix all the shortcomings of the original version. And there's really only one problem. This is my nightmare. Excuse me. Sarah, get out of the shot. That's where I put you. All right, welcome back everybody. I'm JT the Dusty Dutchman, and welcome to the next video in this series where I attempt to rebuild the perfect space solely dedicated to my love for cycling, the Dutchman's Den. Why are you looking at me like that? Did it not? Oh man, come on. I just think I'd shake it a little bit. It should, yeah. Did I hear it? I think I heard it, did it? Yeah, there we go. So we're moving along pretty well here. So for episode 4, we're gonna tackle 4 things. So first thing we're gonna do is tackle this big old pile of OSB lumber that I've kind of already dug into a little bit. Once all these boards are up, the next thing we're gonna do is we need to paint all these walls. And I'm obviously gonna need some help with that because again, I don't paint. After that, I can install the 2 doors that we need down here. And lastly, if you make it to the end of this video, you're gonna see me tackle the gigantic accent wall, which is gonna be really awesome, but it's gonna take some work. It's over there. So, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So it's time to, well, do it. We're gonna go do it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I quit. All right, just a little farther. Here we go. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm not using drywall. So let me explain. I really haven't had a very good relationship with drywall. I feel like as a material, it's very needy. You can't just cut it and put it on the wall. You gotta tape it and then mud it and then sand it and mud it and sand it and mud it and sand it, and then hopefully you can paint it. Another option, which I'm a big fan of, is this stuff, which is called OSB, oriented strand board, which is like similar to an engineered board like plywood, just not quite as strong. What I like about this stuff is I can just cut it, brad nail it to the wall, and then it's immediately ready for paint. And the last thing that I think is a huge benefit, especially in a workshop area like this, is depending on what I'm gonna mount on the wall, this stuff is thick enough and strong enough that I can screw just about anything to the wall wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about hitting a stud. And that is the last board. Sublime! Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Old Dutchman. On today's episode, we're bringing rustic back in the form of these naturally aged barnwood boards. So one of my favorite parts about the last den was the back accent wall that had a very similar type of planking. So these planks come in packages that are mixed colors, and each package is like 18 square feet. We're gonna use this to cover this back wall, and it will provide like a really cool rustic backdrop for the 6 bikes that we're gonna mount on it. I've realized that in every big project, there's always a moment where you get like a small glimpse of what the finished product might look like, and even though you have a long ways to go, it's hard to like not get stoked, but I try not to get too excited just because, you know, I need to focus on like what's next and continuing the journey, but come on! Are you kidding me right now? Look at it! Are you looking at it? Oh my God. This feels like home. I'm home. Seriously though, it looks so good. This is exactly how I envisioned it in my mind, and it came out perfect. So I did end up using the exact same hardware to mount the bikes on the wall as I did in the last den. It's the Venzo VPT mounting system that I got on Amazon. This is a big milestone though. Like, this motivates me to keep going. Like, I'm stoked. I'm ready to go. I am fired up. I'm upset. I'm angry. I am not happy. At least I wasn't. Anyways, we ran into our first issue, and of course, it had to be about paint. I hate paint. So let me tell you what happened, because it all seemed so simple. All I wanted was a nice light neutral gray color to paint the walls to kind of offset a bunch of the darker elements that are in here, like the dark ceiling, the dark carpet tiles that we're going to put in here, some of the darker woods. Apparently picking out a paint color is much more difficult than we thought, because the gray that I purchased once it was on the wall became a nice pastel purpley lavendery color. I don't know if you can tell from this clip, but trust me, the walls were a light purple, but it was like super chill because like I didn't buy much of it. I mean, I only bought like, I don't know, like whatever this is, like 5 gallons worth. So after Sarah calmed me down a little bit, we decided to forego the gray completely and go for more of a light tannish brown color to kind of go with more of the wood tones a little bit better. And that's what you see on the wall here, which turned out actually really good. We used the purple paint for primer, and then thanks to Sarah and Sarah's mom, my mother-in-law, Jules, between the 3 of us, we knocked out all these walls, had to paint them all twice, but they're done, and they actually look really, really good. Well, I guess it's confession time. Here's the thing. I've been working down here a lot. I got a lot done, and I didn't film any of it. After the whole paint debacle, I felt like I kind of got behind a little bit, so I just put my head down and went to work. But check it out. The doors are hung. The walls are painted. The trim is all done. Got the rest of the lighting installed, the track lights and some other decorative lighting. Well, since we accomplished all our goals for this episode, I think it's time to talk dollars. This one hit the old pocketbook a little harder than the last few. So if I don't include all the money that I spent on the paint mistake, we have the OSB, all the other paint, all the trim, all the lights, and all this planking, and all that comes up to just a little over $3,000, which brings our running total to $4,800. As far as hours, I'm starting to lose track. I think if we add my hours and Sarah's and Jules', I would say this episode was probably about 70. But we've come a long way, and we only have a little bit more to get across the finish line here. So if you guys hang in there, I'll keep working. I think the next episode is going to be the final reveal and the end of the series. So anyways, don't be like me. Don't start a project that keeps you in the basement once the weather's starting to get nice outside. Get outside. Get on your bike, because good things will happen. And I'm gonna go take a nap. Or maybe I'll make a drink. Or maybe I'll take out a loan. Man, I could have bought a whole nother bike for all the money I spent down here. That's hurtful.